Welcome in. This is it. It's the final round. It's actually not the final round. It's the final four and the championship round of spreadsheet golf. We've come very far. We've got an absolute heavyweight bout. Welcome, Rory McIlroy, representing group number one, the number one player in the world, attempting to go back-to-back in spreadsheet golf. He has not lost a match yet. He is 4-0-1. Yes, 4-0-1. He did tie a group play match with Bernd Wiesberger. Bryson DeChambeau, representing group number 13, is currently 5-0, 3-0 in the group play. He ran through Phil Mickelson, I believe making birdie on the last to beat Phil. Gary Woodland, I believe making birdie on the last to beat Gary Woodland, to now face Rory McIlroy. Paul Casey, after a pretty terrible showing last week at the Players, 5-0 out of Group 15. He went through Bubba Watson. He went through Eric Van Rooyen. He probably had the easier path once he got out of group play. But he's in the Final Four. And he's going up against match play savant Matt Kuchar, who is trying to get revenge on his runner-up finish in the match play last season to Kevin Kisner. Kuchar is also 5-0. He went through Stenson and Victor Hovland in the elimination rounds. So, what we have here, if I've done the math correctly, in the Final Four, over the course of this event, I believe our golfers are 19-0-1 to this point. They have not lost any match, obviously including the group play. So we're going to sim the Final Four today and the championship. So this should go pretty quickly, but we will finally put a bow on the prizes. So if you have entered the contest, we're paying out 10 spots. And here are the current standings. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, and B. Watts 449 are tied at the top. Lide 8 and Anonymous are tied 1 point back in second. Ben Booz, L. Frink 1, and B. Watts 449 again tied for third, 2 points back. So B. Watts in pretty good shape here because we're paying out 3. Or I'm sorry, we're paying out 10. Paying out 10 spots here. Here are the payouts. First is going to be $733. Second, $488. Third, $342. $244 to fourth. $195 to fifth. $146 for sixth. $109 for seventh. $73 for eighth. $61 for ninth. And $48 for 10th. All of this information is available in the spreadsheet that you can follow along with. It is in the description of this video. So if you want to follow along, if you want to check out the other tabs, go right ahead. Go check out the description of the video and grab this spreadsheet. Now, if we look at the scoring, there are some interesting things. Because as far as I can tell, nobody can get both golfers into the finals. So even our leaders here, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, has Matt Kuchar and Patrick Cantlay going to the finals, and Patrick Cantlay winning it all. Well, that's not going to happen. But Kuchar could get to the championship. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, rooting for Kuchar in a big way because he's like the only guy who owns Kuchar up here at the top, going this far. B. Watts can only get Rory in the championship. And then you have actually an interesting situation with Anonymous, who has both Bryson and Rory in the finals. So this is obviously not ideal because they are on the same side of the bracket. However, it is going to guarantee that this entry gets one golfer into the finals. It guarantees it, obviously, because Rory or Bryson is going to move on. So it's a guaranteed 8 points. Now, if you're Anonymous, you're hoping it's Bryson because you have Bryson winning the entire thing. So we'll go through this again after the Final Four match and when we have a championship, and we will see who's in line for wins and things like that. But I think it's time. I think we should get started with today's action. Here's the scorecards. This is where we will follow along with these matches over the course of the next few minutes. I've decided that I will simulate the consolation match in the next round. Although it is not worth any points in our contest, I will keep the third place winner. We'll figure out a third place winner. All right, let's do it. The way that I liked doing this was to simulate the first 4 holes to start. We'll do them in chunks. Because really, this gets super exciting on the back 9 when these matches start to get closed out a little bit. So we're going to roll through the front pretty quickly here. And we've got movement. So Bryson DeChambeau wins the first hole, loses the second, wins the third. He is 1 up over Rory. So you Bryson backers, you guys who have Bryson winning it all, feeling good so far. Only 4 holes in, plenty of golf left, but Bryson is 1 up. Matt Kuchar continues his absolutely dominant performance here in match play. He's 5-0. He is now 2 up over Paul Casey through the first 4 holes. What we've seen here is really anything can happen. You can blow a big lead. You can run away and hide and get 8 up. You can go back and forth. No lead is safe here. So 2 up and 1 up through just 4 holes is nothing. But certainly the favorites now are Bryson and Matt Kuchar to meet in the finals. Here's what I also want to know. What's the ideal finals matchup? Let me know in the chat. I actually love this Rory Bryson matchup. I wish this was the finals. Otherwise, I really don't care who wins the Rory Bryson side of it. I think Kuchar in the finals is probably the better side of the right-hand side of the bracket. So let me know what the best finals matchup is, and maybe we'll get it. Let's go out and simulate the next 3 holes here and see if Rory has been able to turn the tide. And we'll see if Kuchar has been able to keep the momentum going. Rory and Bryson are locked in a good one now. Those 3 holes that I just simulated, all halved. Rory and Bryson are going to be still separated by only a hole with 11 to go. Bryson 1 up. Matt Kuchar, on the other hand, is extending that lead over Paul Casey. So Casey really needs to start winning holes here soon. He is now 4 down with 11 to go. He's 4 down through 7. So Casey is going to need a spark, and he's going to need it in a big way. Let's go do holes 8 and 9 here. It's not official until everybody gets a score, so now it is official. Okay, so we've got more holes being won here. Rory gets it back. Rory has just squared the match as we head to the back 9. So that is looks like it is just set to go the distance. Rory and Bryson is such a great matchup. I wish we could have seen that this week in real life. I hope at some point these guys have to play each other. Maybe in a Ryder Cup situation. That would be pretty cool. Matt Kuchar is going to apparently take the rest because he is now 5 up through 9. It looks like he's on verge to close this out pretty quickly over Paul Casey, and he will not have to play as many holes, which might be an advantage if Rory and Bryson go the distance, or God forbid, they go to extra holes, which we will simulate as well. But it is all about this top match, Rory and Bryson right now, as Kuchar is seemingly on the verge of closing this out here shortly. Holes 10 and 11. Kuchar is trying to Tiger Ames this thing. Thanks, Phil. It's funny you mentioned that. I'll tell you that story in a second. Let's go back to holes 10 and 11. Wow, Bryson wins 11. Bryson wins hole number 11. He's now 1 up. And look at this. Just when I said Paul Casey needed a spark, he goes out and wins 10 and 11. He's now 3 down. But I'll tell you what, 3 down with 7 to go is a lot better than 5 down with 7 to go or done. So Paul Casey showing a little bit of signs of life here. It's funny you mentioned the Tiger-Stephen Ames match, Phil, in the chat, because we actually just covered that on the CBS Sports podcast that I do, so it's the first cut. We flashed back to 2006, the WGC Match Play, and covered that match and covered that tournament. Stephen Ames got smoked by Tiger 9 and 8, I believe it was. It was over in 10 holes. Unbelievable stuff. Tiger was just absolutely deadly. It's the biggest match play victory ever. All right, so now Kuchar no longer can close this out. So if we do 2 holes, Kuchar can't close this out, because he could at the very best be dormy. He'd be 5 up with 5 to go. Rory 1 down, headed to 12. So let's do 2, because we're not going to get a match closed out here. Okay, so the guys that were already leading have extended. Bryson DeChambeau, 2 up through 5, looking to finish off the number 1 player in the world and the number 1 player in spreadsheet golf, Rory McIlroy, on the verge of being bounced. We have not seen Rory in this much trouble since the opening match versus, I want to say, Jason Day. I'm trying to think back here. Rory was in a tough one with Jason Day. I think he ended up coming back on the last couple of holes and either winning or having that match. I want to say he won it on the final hole. We have not seen Rory in this much trouble since then. Matt Kuchar does win number 12, and he gets back to a 4 up lead with 5 to go. Trying to think what else here. So if I do 1 hole, let's do 1 hole, because Kuchar could win this thing. Kuchar could win it. And Bryson, okay, so Rory really needs a stretch here. So we're going to do 1 hole, because I think we can get it. It's possible that Kuchar wins it here. Okay, Rory does get 1 back. Rory wins 14. He is now just 1 down with 4 to go. Never count him out. He's so good in this format. He's so strong just in general. He is certainly never out of this. Makes birdie on number 14 and wins the hole. He's 1 down. Matt Kuchar and Paul Casey have now halved 2 holes in a row. So it is Kuchar who is now dormy. Kuchar cannot lose this in regulation. He just needs to have any hole the rest of the way, and he will punch his ticket to the finals. So this match on the verge of being over. Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau, still plenty of golf to be played. What's up, TJ, in the chat? Welcome, buddy. All right. Hole number 15 coming at you. Wow. Okay, so a couple of things. Kuchar won. Kuchar and Casey have halved hole number 15, which is all Kuchar needed to do to punch his ticket. On the other side of this, a reverse bounce back for Rory, a bounce back for Bryson, who goes out and wins hole number 15. So it is now a 2 up lead for Bryson DeChambeau with 3 holes remaining. Let's move Kuchar into the finals. Kuchar is awaiting his opponent. It is either going to be Bryson or it is going to be Rory McIlroy. And we are also going to put Matt Kuchar in as our final 4 winner so that will recalculate our points. So 3 holes to go. Bryson is 2 up. It is possible that he closes out Rory on the next hole. If he wins the next hole, it's over. If they have the next hole, Bryson will be dormy 2 up with 2 to go. If Rory wins the next hole, which he kind of needs to do, it'll only be a 1-hole deficit with 2 remaining. So here we go. Hole number 17. Two men left on the golf course. And Rory does exactly what he needs to do. He wins hole number 16 with a par. That is not great in match play when you're Bryson trying to hold on to a 2-up lead to make bogey on a par 5. But Bryson still clinging to a 1-up lead. If Rory comes back and wins this, it would be pretty epic. You know, he ran away with the Players' Championship last week at TPC Sawgrass. He is, 2 down with 3 to play in the final 4 of the match play. It would be remarkable, and it would show how good he is if he can come back and find a way to win this thing. We could get a decision. I mean, this is incredible because if Bryson wins, it's over. If he wins hole 17, it's over. If they have it, he's dormy. Or if Rory wins it, it's all square headed to 18. So this is any situation. This is going to be a pretty good outcome or an interesting outcome on 17 here. It can go in any direction. So let's do it. The suspense is killing me. Hole number 17 in the Bryson Rory McIlroy match. Of course, I just zoomed in 1,000%. Stand by. Okay, let's try this. Try this again. I want to keep these same numbers here. Don't want to lose the numbers. Okay, we're good. So, that is a very good number for Rory, and he's done it. He's won 2 in a row. He's won 3 out of 4. Let me try to zoom this out a little bit more. There we go. That's back to where we were. He's won 3 of the last 4 holes, and we are going to 18 all square. I don't know if this would be more impressive. I guess it would be more impressive that Rory would come back than it would be that Bryson gave it away because Rory made birdie on 17. But oh my goodness, the heavyweight bout has lived up to it. Rory versus Bryson with 1 hole to go all square. This was Bryson's to lose 2 holes ago. Oh boy. And he did. So we'll see how this shakes out now. Here's what will happen. Obviously, if either one of these golfers win the 18th, it's over. If they have 18, we will start back at 1 and we will sim a sudden death 1 through 18, however many holes it takes. It's funny, Austin in the chat mentioned Bryson fading. He actually faded on Sunday as well last week. He was like 3 shots back. These two were very close on the leaderboard on Sunday before Bryson faded last week and Rory pulled away. So it's more of the same here for Bryson. Here we go. This is it. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to this roll. And Bryson DeChambeau has won hole number 18. He salvages the match in which he probably should have closed down a little bit earlier. Salvages with a birdie on 18 to beat Rory McIlroy and to head into the finals against Matt Kuchar. So Bryson has finally nipped Rory McIlroy. Rory will not be going back-to-back in spreadsheet golf this week. Rory will go into the consolation match against Paul Casey. Wow. Okay, so let's plug these in. We are going to, first of all, I'm going to save this data so that we have it. We're going to move Bryson into the finals. And we're going to unmerge this cell. There we go. So, it's Bryson versus Matt Kuchar. That is a really good matchup for all the marbles. We are going to put Bryson into, I guess I could just do it like this, into the Final Four winner, and we are going to look at the updated scoring here. And we've got movement. So it looks as if Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, is going to remain at the top of this because Kuchar gets through for him. Kuchar gets through. So that's 8 points from Kuchar. However, that is all the points that Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer can earn because he's got Patrick Cantlay as his champion. That will not happen. Anonymous, I mentioned earlier, was guaranteed to get Bryson or McIlroy through. Now, if Bryson wins it all, Anonymous is going to win, right? Because that entry would get 16 points. It would jump them up above. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. Elfrink would also jump up into second. Halsey would jump up into third. The Atlanta Braves would jump up into fourth. All of these entries that have Bryson winning it all would jump above Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, if I'm reading this correctly. Yeah, so Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, certainly rooting against Bryson here. B. Watts, unfortunately, I believe in both your lineups you might have had Rory winning it all. Oh, you had Webb Simpson winning it down here. Or no, here's another Rory. Rory and Rory. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen for you. Let's see what else. Adam Scott, Bryson, John Rahm. No. Okay, so we've got, if Bryson wins it, actually, I guess if it's like this, if Kuchar wins, nothing changes here. Does anybody have Kuchar winning it? Because 16 points is a lot. Nobody has Kuchar winning it all. Am I missing it? I don't think anyone has Kuchar winning it all. So that would have been 16 points, which would have jumped you up pretty significantly, right? You could have been as far back as here, Ippy Bryan, yo. My buddy Ippy Bryan, yo. So no Kuchar. So if Kuchar wins, the way that I understand this, the leaderboard is going to stay the same. If Throw Mud is still in it. If Throw Mud gets 16 points, that would be 34, which would jump him up. Yeah, probably, right? Jump him up into like 5th or something. So Throw Mud could certainly move up. Yeah, definitely into a paying position. 16 points is a ton of points. So if Kuchar wins, it stays the same. If Bryson wins, all of these owners jump up, is the way that I'm understanding this. So let's do it. Let's get to it. Let me pull up the championship round here. And this is going to be between Bryson DeChambeau, and it's going to be between Matt Kuchar, with the consolation being Rory and Paul Casey. And then what we will do is we will hide my Final Four match so I don't get that confused. We will update our input sheet to reset all of this. And we've got clean scorecards. So Bryson Kuchar at the top. Rory McIlroy, Paul Casey at the bottom. That's your consolation match. So no points awarded down there, but we will play for third. Bryson and Kuchar. Let's roll this out. Let's get 4 holes in. Let's get 4 holes in and see where we stand. Oh boy, 4 holes in. Every hole has been decided in the championship match. Bryson wins the first. Kuchar wins the second. Bryson wins the third and fourth. He's 2 up through 4 holes. A much slower start in the consolation match, which started with 3 straight halved holes. And then Paul Casey wins number 4. You have to wonder what Rory's motivation is right now. Obviously coming out here wanting to win the championship, now knowing that's not going to happen. You wonder if he's packing it in against Paul Casey here in the 3rd place match. Although Bryson, 2 up through 4. We've seen him jump out to big leads. We've seen him not be able to necessarily entirely hold on to them. It's gotten a little shaky for Bryson the longer we go. Let's get some more holes in. I like what I've been doing. Let's do, I think I was doing 5, 6, 7, then I was doing 8, 9, and then we'll see how it goes from there depending on the status of the matches. So 5, 6, 7. Oh my goodness. 5, 6, 7 in the championship match are all halved. So that match is going to remain 2 up through 7 for Bryson DeChambeau. The consolation match, Rory drops another on 5. Casey now with a 2 up lead. So Paul Casey trying to get that extra prize money, that sweet spreadsheet golf prize money he's trying to capture today. 2 up through 7. Bryson right where we left him after the last roll. Let's try 8 and 9. Eight and 9 in the books, and 8 and 9 are alternated in the championship match. Bryson wins 8, Kuchar wins 9, so stalemate stays at 2 up for Bryson as we make the turn. Rory and Casey now on a bit of a halving streak. 4 holes in a row to round out the back 9. That match still 2 up for Paul Casey. So both matches are 2 up at the moment as we make the turn. A lot more action, however, in the championship match. The consolation match, pretty lame so far. Two holes won, and that's it. 10 and 11 coming at you. $10 and $11. Okay, so now our championship match locked through the back 9. Those 2 holes have them both. Bryson still a 2 up lead. Rory finally gets on the board. Hole number 11. He is now just 1 down with 7 holes to go, playing for that extra prize money, playing for that prize, showing a little bit of something on number 11 for us. Let's do one at a time. Hole number 12. We're in the championship and consolation rounds. We are trying to determine the match play winner out of 64 of the world's best players. We're going to go hole by hole the rest of the way. Bryson eagles number 12 and extends his lead over Matt Kuchar to 3 up with 6 to go. He can taste it. He's got one hand on the trophy, but we've seen him in this position a few times this week, and it's gotten a little shaky. He's survived every time, but it's been a little shaky coming in. Rory now goes back to back to square his match with Paul Casey. So that match is all square with 6 to go. But Bryson, they're starting just a little bit to engrave his name on the championship trophy. We'll see if Kuchar can get a run going here. And he's going to need it starting on hole number 13. And he got it. He got exactly what he needed. So Matt Kuchar is going to win hole number 13 to cut into Bryson's lead. Bryson's still 2 up, but Kuchar trying to stay within contact range here. 5 holes remaining. Rory, after winning 2 holes in a row, drops a hole, on hole number 13. He is now 1 down. Can Kuchar stay hot? Can Kuchar keep it going? Put a little nerves on Bryson. Have him shaking his boots a little bit. Can he win hole number 14 and get even closer? He cannot, but he doesn't lose it. So that match still remains 2 up for Bryson, as they have 14. Rory showed us something on 11 and 12, winning both of those holes. Unfortunately, he gives 2 back on 13 and 14. Casey now with a pretty commanding 2 up lead with 4 to go. Both of our matches 2 up with 4 to go. Bryson doesn't nearly have the momentum that Matt Kuchar does. Casey is rolling right now. Casey can go dormy on 15 if he wins it there. So let's head over to 15. Because Casey could get this to dormy. He does. Casey is dormy, 3 up with 3 to go, and Matt Kuchar has now won 2 of the last 3 holes to get this back down to 1. This is exactly what we were talking about. This is Bryson a little shaky on the back 9 of every single one of these matches this week. Almost coughed it up to Rory before gathering himself and birdieing 18 in the final 4. Now he's in the championship, and his 3 up lead 3 holes ago is now only 1 up. It's a run out the clock situation for Bryson as he is just trying to get into the clubhouse here with halves and maintain his 1 up lead. But it looks like Casey in the consolation match has this thing wrapped up. He's dormy. So he just needs to have any hole from here on out. So Casey can lock this up. But that other match, it is full on momentum for Matt Kuchar trying to run up and steal this. And I'm sure Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, is begging for that outcome at this point. Bryson and Kuchar have 16. Casey finishes off Rory with a flourish on the back. 4 in a row. 2 remaining. He is going to beat Rory McIlroy. So Paul Casey is your 3rd place finisher. Rory McIlroy is your 4th place finisher. Those are not worth additional points, but Casey beats Rory in the consolation match. That shines the spotlight solely on our championship match at the top of the screen. That Bryson DeChambeau currently leads 1 up with 2 to go as they head to 17. It could end right now. It could end right now and jump up all of those Bryson backers above Barry Bonds as a Hall of Famer into the money. There's literally hundreds of dollars on the line right now. Let's go and see if Bryson... So here are the outcomes. If Bryson wins 17, it's over. If they have it, Bryson will be Dormy, 1 up with 1 to go. And if Kuchar wins 17, we are all square heading to 18. Let's go see. I'm terrified. Oh, no, he did not. It is another potential debacle for Bryson. Kuchar wins 17. It's all square heading to 18. As if we didn't expect anything else from spreadsheet golf. Bryson has now dropped 3 of the last 5 holes. Kuchar has all the momentum in the world. This is what we saw just a few minutes ago with the Bryson-Rory match. Now, Bryson was able to right the ship, collect himself, and win hole number 18 for the victory. We will see if he can do it again. Neither one of these golfers has lost a match this week. Neither one of these golfers has halved a match this week. And we are headed to 18 of the championship match, all square. Now, I do not need to remind you, but I will, of the potential outcomes of this hole. If Matt Kuchar can win this hole or this match somehow, if it's going to extra holes, these standings will stay the same. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, will win. If Bryson can win this hole or this match, Anani Mouse will be your champion. Elfrink will jump up. Halsey will jump up. Atlanta Braves will jump up. Pete Town Bulldog will jump up. And I even believe Throw Mud would jump up above Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. So I believe Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer will drop to 7th, if my math is correct. So this is a literal swing of, the difference between 1st and 7th is $630. So this is quite the sweat on the last hole here. And maybe more. Maybe it's going to go to a playoff. I guess let's do it. I guess let's go do it. It is 18. It is match play. Let's see who wins. I'm nervous. I'm trying to make sure I type it all in correctly. My fingers are nervous. Here we go. Hole 18 in match play. Oh, I did it again. There we go. The suspense is even longer. They have 18. They have 18. And we're going to extra holes, people. So, this match is not over. It's going to get even worse. We're going to sudden death. So give me 1 second here. We are going to do a playoff. Playoff 2. I'm going to save these stats here. And as if the pressure was not ratcheted up enough, we're headed to a playoff. Both guys make birdie on 18 to push this into a playoff. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide this sheet. This is my new playoff sheet. I'm going to reset all of our inputs here. Of course, we're going to a 19th hole. These guys are undefeated. Nobody wants to lose. This is sudden death. We've got clean scorecards. I'm even going to hide. I'm going to get rid of this so we have no other distractions. This is our match right here. I'll try to even make it a little bit bigger. Sudden death, we're starting at hole number 1. If you are the first golfer to win a hole, you win. That's it. Sudden death. We will play as many holes as necessary here. This is only the second playoff we've had to go to this week. Let's do it. Good luck, everybody. Same situation. Kuchar wins and Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer wins. Otherwise, Bryson wins and everybody moves up. Hole number 1 of the playoff is in the books. And Bryson DeChambeau has won it. Bryson DeChambeau birdies the first playoff hole to beat Matt Kuchar. It took 19 holes. Bryson is going to avenge his fade last week at the Players' Championship. He is going to roll through undefeated in the match play golf. Congratulations to Bryson DeChambeau. Matt Kuchar played awesome, is going to finish second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug Bryson in as our winner here. And we're going to flip over to the scoring, and it's going to be pretty obvious how this has changed, because all of these dark green numbers are going to make the jump up. So let's give this a sort here. And it's going to be Anani Mouse with 45 points. Bryson as the victor is going to be the winner for this week. L. Frink 1 point behind is going to finish second. Halsey in third. The Atlanta Braves in fourth. Pete Town Bulldog in fifth. Throw Mud jumps up in sixth. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, the first non-Bryson entry. Congratulations, you are going to finish, what is that, seventh? Tony 4787 is going to finish eighth. B Watts 449 is going to finish ninth. And Lide 8 is going to finish 10th. I do not need any tiebreakers here. Wow, that's handy, because these are all separated by at least 1 point. So I do not even need any tiebreakers. Those are our victors. Payouts will be coming at some point today. I'll verify all this information. I'll confirm it all, double check the numbers before I send it out, but it all looks good to me. So stay tuned for the payouts. Congratulations to everyone who played. It is going to be Bryson. We're going to put him up here as our champion. Bryson DeChambeau closes it out. And that will close out Spreadsheet Golf for this week, the match play. Thank you all for joining me all week. Appreciate you guys hopping on, following along. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. We'll be back next week. Valspar, Valero Texas Open. I always confuse the two. I think it's Valero Texas Open. We'll be back for another round of Spreadsheet Golf. Congratulations to the winners. Best of luck. See you guys on Twitter. Later.